Welcome to the Sparkles Podcast, the self-publishing podcast for authors. You're in the right place for the best writing, marketing, and publishing advice, plus interviews with industry experts and best-selling authors. I'm Cheryl Phipps.
I'm Wendy Bella.
And I'm Trudy J. Hello.
Sorry, I had
everyone.
a cough lolly there, so I was moving it around my mouth.
So you've got us three today.
Yes.
Wendy's feeling sick. Me and Cheryl are feeling something. But we're full of love and happiness. So we're going to talk to you. We're going to be inspiring and exciting this week because we were feeling inspired and excited when we were talking about what we're going to talk about.
And we're a little bit jealous as well.
Oh yeah, because Shah is off on an amazing holiday.
She's in New York, so if you see her, go up and give her a hug.
Yeah, if you see Shah walking around, if you're in New York, go say hi.
Go give her a hug.
Yeah, lots of hugs.
That.
She loves hugs.
Gently. Yeah, she frightens easily. So
yeah, just approach really slowly from the front. Make sure she has eye contact.
I reckon you might be better sneaking up behind her, just like grab her.
No,
that's a good
totally
thing
make
to do
her
in New
feel
York. I don't know.
Anyway, so she's let us do a podcast without her. So she may well come to regret that.
Yeah.
After she listens to all our advice.
Yeah.
And someone attacks her from behind.
But let's
today,
hope she doesn't listen to this one.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that she decides not to listen. So today we thought there's a quote. Did we confirm that it's Ron Weasley?
No, I found it with Ron Weasley, but I don't know if it's his quote or something. It's probably someone famous and someone will correct us. So.
Okay, but I like the idea that it's Ron Weasley out of Harry Potter that said this quote. And it is, believing in yourself is 100 times more powerful than luck. I don't know if it was 100 times. I just made that bit up. Did you say 100 times?
I did say 100 times, but as usual, you weren't listening to me. So.
Yeah, well, I did listen because clearly I got it. So my subconscious was listening.
Come on.
Anyway, and I love that. Like we've got to believe in ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like luck is one thing. Luck is something that comes along maybe, but you can't guarantee luck. You can't rely on luck. You can't plan your career based on luck.
You can try and make your own luck.
Yeah, and I think making your own luck is actually the way to go, right? Like, I almost don't believe in luck. I believe in setting yourself up for success. I think you can get everything in the right place at the right time, and if something happens, then maybe that's luck. Do you
call that luck, or is that fate, or is that just you did the good things first?
Yeah,
and believing in yourself. You've got to believe in yourself because no one else is going to. I mean, bottom line is you're your own cheerleader. You might have a whole lot of family and support around you, but bottom line is you're the one who's going to do the hard mahi, which is work. You're the one who's going to get stuck in and do it. The buck stops with you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's. I was going to say that there's that saying: the more successful I get, the luckier I am. And it's kind of a bit ironic saying that actually it's not this, it's people think that you've come from nowhere or you're successful based on luck or something that's happened, but they don't see all the years of work and stuff that's happened in the past.
Exactly.
Or there's that whole saying of like overnight success with authors or people think that it's their first book when an author is suddenly successful.
People really believe that, don't they? That's actually what happens. But I mean, I can't think of one instance that is true, because maybe an overnight success in that a lot of people haven't heard of you before then, but how much work have you done to become successful?
And that's right. I mean, we've all heard the stories about Colleen Hoover and people like that she's a truly amazing woman. But when she did hit the big, she had a lot of books behind her.
She's been working a long time,
really
working on her writing, doing everything right, creating these amazing books that people love, so that when that TikTok came, it wasn't just for one book that was kind of average. It was like to a whole series of books that were all equally as powerful. So then that's part of why she took off. It wasn't luck. It was like she'd done the work.
I mean, and maybe that's right, but maybe the luck came in the fact that the bloggers picked it up, and where TikTokers picked it up. TikTok bloggers, I don't know, and then they ran with it. Like that's got to have a certain degree of luck. But she still had to have written the book, and the book had to be there.
And it had to be a good book.
Yeah,
because nobody's going to promote a book if they think it's rubbish, are they? They're not.
So I guess that's again the things you control, right? But if you're believing in yourself, and if she'd just written one book and then didn't have the sales off that one book and said, that's it, I don't think I can do that again, or I don't believe in myself, that could have been it for her. But instead she kept going. She kept write and keep moving forward and keep trying. And I think that's a big part of what we do. And there's that
mental
meme.
strength.
Yeah, mental strength. So we want to talk about mental strength, and we're going to do that in 1 second. I just wanted to mention that meme, and we were talking about before, of the little guy, and he's got his pickaxe, and he's down a little tunnel, and he's pickaxing into the stone or the whatever it is, the rock, and just beyond it is either like a diamond vein or a gold vein or whatever it is, and he's just like, I'm tired, I'm done, I want to give up now. And he goes home, and he was like literally inches from the striking gold. And it's like, that's what I always think when I'm feeling crappy and I'm feeling like, oh, this is, I need to stop, what am I doing? I think that's when you need to keep going. That's when your brain is trying to mess with you and tell you to stop, when actually you need to be thinking about that and recognizing it for what it is. That it's just your brain telling you silly stories, and keep yourself going,
because you do get tired, don't you? You do get worn out by it all, and a bit overwhelmed. But if you stop now, you don't know what the future could hold. You don't know what's just around the corner. And some people do have to stop, right? Some people, it's going to be the best thing for them to say, no, this is not for me. I don't want to pursue this career anymore because it's just too hard. That, everyone has the right to do that. But I think if it's your passion, and if you really, really want it, then you just have to push through those self-doubts and that weight, and just find an easier path to it, maybe.
Yeah, and there'll be people listening who go, oh, it's easy for you to say, or it's this, or it's that, or I don't have the money, or that. We get all that. We've been through it all.
Every single little step, we have done it all.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've had, when you think about it, we've had no money to do it with. We've all had second jobs. We've all been working. We've all got family commitments. We've all been sick. We've all been struggling through, illnesses and COVID. All sorts of dramas and COVID and everything, because we're not coming from someone who's had this magical life that's kind of not, and we're telling you straight, like, you just have to keep going. That's the only, don't let yourself stop. Don't let yourself convince yourself that the odds are overwhelming. You can do it, and we know you can do it.
And I think that, like we talked about mentally being strong, this game will test you. I mean, the easier option would have been for all of us to just stay with doing what we were doing, earning our regular income and getting our regular income. There's no two ways around that, none at all. But we chose this route because it's something we're very passionate about, and it's something we love. And there are times when mentally it tests you, massively tests you, and you have to sort of, and I have sort of little mantras I go through when times are tough, or little things that I go back to and drop back into, because even now, 50 whatever books down and, achieving some success and stuff like that, I still think, oh, I just can't do it today. Like I just can't do it today. I just don't want to do it today. I'm tired, and stuff like that. So it is. It's really tough mentally, really, really tough.
But you have to think that you would feel like that in a 9-to-5 job working for somebody else.
Yeah, you would.
And the difference is that as you progress, you can actually say, I'm taking today off, or I'll do something different today. I won't do the writing today. I'll just do something different. It'll be something within the business or not, but I'll just do something different and have a rest. And, your brain needs a little time out sometimes.
Cutting yourself some slack is massive in this game. Massive. But, like, I don't want it to be all doom and gloom, because it's not. It's a fantastic career. We absolutely love this career, but it's understanding that it is going to be mentally challenging, and there are times when you just need to dig a bit deep.
Because we are sold the dream in some ways, right? Like there's that whole kind of do what you love and, feel passionate about writing and all that kind of stuff. And I think we all do feel passionate about writing. We do it because we love it, not because but there is a very big aspect to this that's actually, when it comes down to it, you still have to do the work. There's still, you have to get up every day. You have to write a certain number of words to get the books out. You need to do the marketing. You need to do all the things. It's actually not easy to be the writer and the marketer and the publisher and all those things. It's actually, there's a lot to being an indie author. But if you can like we were talking about this before, and I want to bring this up, is you said before, Wendy, everyone, there are a lot of good writers out there. There's a lot of us who can write a decent book and things like that. And what we need to do is figure out what can separate us from all those other writers and make us rise to the top and be the next Colleen Hoover or Lucy Score or whoever, and what is it that we can do, and how do we do that?
And that's right. It is tough,
and I'm asking the question, how do we do that, Wendy? What is it?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I've got the magic bullet right here.
No, but you said earlier.
What did I say?
The
I can't
top
remember.
2%. You said the top 2%.
Oh, for sure. Hey, look, like I've been really lucky insofar. I've got a son who was a professional rugby player, and he had so much mental skills training. Like, coaches have begun to realize that as rugby players and professional athletes get to a certain level, they're all physically at the same level. So what is the 1% that makes them different or better? And it's that top 2%. It's the mental strength. So, we've all done things with people and we thought, they're big powerhouses or whatever, and they're going to be really good at this, and they're not. And quite often it's a mental game. I mean, I think of myself as mentally quite strong in what I do, because there are sometimes I just don't want to do it. And I think a lot of that comes from him, because he has talked to me quite a lot about times that he's not wanted to go to training, or he's got up and he's tired, or he's got kids at home and a wife or whatever, and he's like, or he's on the field and he's been hit and bashed and whatever, and he's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But he said he's been taught the techniques and the skills. And I think, as writers, for me, I have a little certain skill set and a box of tricks that I can pull out when things are tough. And he was the same, and he was like, he would have the, he used to throw the ball into the line, so he would go, okay, I can feel the ground beneath my feet. That used to ground him. And I do the same with music. So I'll put music on. If things are not going well, I'll just put music on. I'll walk around a little bit. I'll get into the feel of the music. I have a sort of playlist that is just all about writing. So when I put that playlist on, my brain starts to go, okay, yep, this is why we're listening to this music. And that works for me. So, and that's the thing I think that I had to get my head around. This is my business, and I know you guys are the same. So I have to write, and I have to do things, and I have to go to work every day. And that's tough when you're working in a home environment. So I had to get that set of skills that would allow me to do that when things were tough. And this is where the music comes in, and sitting on my office and walking down the stairs and closing the door, and that sort of thing. I think if you can sort of have a few little things that trigger you.
So that's about environment. So you go down to your office and you change your environment, and this is your workplace. You use the music to kind of trigger your brain. You kind of do those things to kind of help you kind of get back into that focus you need. I do that. It's really weird. The same with music. There's an Adele song, and I don't even know what album it's from or anything like that, but it starts, and I don't even get the first line properly. I know that I'm quoting it wrong because every time I listen to it, but it's something like there's a fire burning deep inside or something like that, and I'm always just like that.
Rolling in the deep. Oh, is it
rolling in the deep? It's rolling in the deep.
And I know I'm saying it wrong. And every time, but it just that sort of line just gets me into it. And as soon as I hear that, I just press play on that. I hear that line, and then I start writing. It's just like this. It's like I'm a Pavlov's dog. I ding, the bell dings, and I start salivating. That music plays, and I start writing. And so that's an interesting technique too, just to get you going when you don't feel like it.
YouTube clips for me, Dirty Dancing, the last scene of Dirty Dancing, where nobody puts baby in a corner. If I'm really blocked and I'm just like, I'll just sit down and watch that. And I'm like, right, I'm ready.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a real trigger for me, or something that one of those scenes. Something
a romantic scene.
Yeah. What about you, Cher?
I don't have anything that I would say that I do religiously like that.
You go to your office though to write.
I do go to my office. I write in different places of the house for my back's sake and my legs and that, just to have a change around. But when I'm serious, when I need to have all the things around me, I sit at my office, and the one thing I have to have is I have to have a clean desk. And the clean desk kind of I guess it opens the path for it's not too woo-woo for things to come forth, you know, to be able to open up and expand what I was thinking when I shut the computer down last time. To just, you know, now I'm ready. And away I go. I don't often even have music on, but I think it's just being ready. And if you're ready, if you've got your water already, you've been to the bathroom, those things that are going to pull you out time and time again, then you won't be ready, you know. And that's what I think for me it's about being ready.
I love that. I love the idea of the clean desk being a pathway for it to come through to you. That makes a lot of sense in terms of what I know about you and how you, And the point is that it's different for everyone, right? So you need to figure out if there's something feels like blocking you, or some, you know, what is going to make you feel good, what's going to make you feel, I don't know.
But on the flip side of that is don't force it either. You know, like, because
don't procrastinate with a whole bunch of random crap.
With like, you know, like candles burning and sage and whatever, you know what I mean?
And I can't write because the right candle.
Unless that's your thing. But what I'm saying is, if some days, like, I've been feeling really a bit crappy. Sorry, am I allowed to say crap? I think so.
You have done.
You've said worse, to be fair.
If I'm feeling a bit crappy, like, oh, you know what? There's 12 hours today. I'll start it up a bit later and just give myself some time, you know, because you don't want to hate it either.
No.
You don't want it to become something that is a real burden.
There's this kind of balancing act, right, between finding out whether it's just a silly like a story or something you're telling yourself, and that you know that you can get over, like the I'm too tired and it's too hard and nothing's working, so I may as well not do it. That kind of energy, which is just you being down on yourself, versus actually I've been working so hard and I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, and maybe I need to give myself a little bit of a break and cut myself some slack, and all of those kind of cliches, and just let myself veg out and read a romance novel for the morning or something, or maybe not.
That's okay.
The key is you have to recognize it in yourself. You have to understand your process, and if you are going to make excuses every single day, that becomes your process, and you don't work. You don't get any words done. You don't write a book. You don't publish.
And that's not believing in yourself. You don't believe in yourself because you're letting those stories take over.
You just told yourself that's how it is today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And and I don't want to use the word force. You shouldn't have to force yourself to do anything. But when you went out to work at that 9-to-5 job, you got up in the morning, you didn't, so occasionally you had a sickie, right? That's what we're talking about. You can do that, sure. But you didn't ring in every day and say, you know what? Just don't feel like it.
Do you feel like, though, that's because there was no decision to make? This is my theory, for me anyway. It's like you had to go to work because you'd signed a contract, you'd agreed to go there, and they wouldn't pay you if you didn't go. And you need the money to pay your rent or whatever. So you there's an obligation there. Whereas, and I mean, often authors say, I write because I need to pay the bills, but actually there's more choice around it. We kind of go, I can get up later today because there's no obligation to get up. But it's an obligation to yourself. And it's almost, if you don't love yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't think that you are worthy, then maybe you're going to slack off. You're not going to,
especially when you first give up your day job or cut back your hours or whatever you do to become a full-time author. That is a big trap, and I think we've all fallen into that, haven't we? Where the day just seemed endless. You had all this time, this possibility of things to do in this time, and you think, all right, I'll just do another load of washing, or
I've never thought I'll just do another load of washing. Just want to make that point clear.
It's not my go-to, I'll be honest.
Sorry about it. I'll just bake something.
No.
But it's so sticking to the discipline of writing when you know that you should be writing is not just about. It's not just about you have to do it or whatever. It's actually an act of kind of self-love, at the risk of sounding a bit woo. But Shah's not here. I have to kind of
someone has to woo when she's not here, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's. I have a big thing with eating and food. Obviously, that's something I've had issues with my whole life. And someone said it to me. It's like eating food, like chocolate or whatever, that's not good for you and is not good for your body. It's kind of like hitting yourself. So why do you keep hitting yourself? And there's like, oh, but it feels good in the moment, but it's long term. It's kind of like bashing yourself over the head. and it's the same for like not writing because you feel tired or angry or upset or whatever, like it's kind of like, that you want to write, and in the standoff moment you kind of go, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to write these books. I want to get better. I want to publish. I want to do all these things. But in the moment when it comes to do it, you don't do it. It's kind of like hitting yourself. It's kind of like punishing yourself almost, or not being kind to yourself. So if you can kind of think of it as convincing myself to write, or sitting down and kind of ignoring the things in you that says no and just writing, it's kind of like the opposite of hitting yourself, if that makes sense.
Not really, but it sort of does. Yes.
It totally makes sense in my head, so it's fine.
Well, as long as it makes sense in your head.
But but if you think of it, if you think of not doing it, like I know not doing it seems like you're making a choice and it's not active, but actually kind of is active, because by not doing it, you're not pursuing your dream, you're not pursuing the writing that you want to do.
Yeah, I think also
so you're
on top of that,
yourself.
It's not just the writing, it's the other stuff as well. Like if it was just the writing, it wouldn't be so hard, right? Sometimes, but it's all the other stuff that comes with it as well. So, I mean, we can all write, or we wouldn't be where we are, right? That's what we do. But it's the, I need to learn Facebook ads, or I need to learn this, or I need, and I think that manifests itself as well, because so that becomes a, if I write, then I've got to advertise and I've got to do this. And so there's quite a lot more mentally behind the scenes than just the simple not wanting to write sometimes, I think. And
resistance anywhere.
Absolutely. And then sometimes if it gets to the stage where I'm just like, I'll get out of the house. I just go.
Change the scenery.
I'll just go, and I'll just, even if I go and sit on the beach or whatever.
There's two sayings. One is, if you resist, it persists. So whatever you resist, like, I don't want to do Facebook ads because they're too hard, it sits in the back of your mind, like, I should be doing Facebook ads, but I can't do it because it's too hard. I can, and just sits there. Versus if you actually you just went, bugger it, I'm going to give it a go, and you do bugger. It. Yeah. Oops, sorry. You said crap, so anyway, lucky Shah's not here. She'd be telling us off.
Yeah, big time.
But it persists, right? Like you keep you keep thinking about it. It becomes a loop in your head. Versus if you actually just go, okay, I'm just going to do some Facebook ads, give it a go, or do something about it. Then it breaks the loop, and you can actually move forward with it. So it's kind of like resisting is something to watch out for. If you're resisting
taking off things that you don't want to do makes you feel so good.
It does.
I mean, I've probably had a couple of days feeling a bit crappy, that word again, but I have, so I haven't done a lot. And today, like, I have a list that is probably as long as a toilet roll paper. A roll of toilet roll paper is what I meant to say. I've had quite a few cold and flu pills, so
God knows what you're saying today.
So where I'm going with that is, like today I need to cross some of those things off, because there will be no sleep for me if I don't start crossing some of those things off, because I know they're building, and they're only going to get more, right? So,
and if you don't cross them off, if you don't deal like Tracy, that's my sister. Like Trudy said, they just sit there, they weigh on you.
They sit on your shoulder.
Yourself.
Why haven't you done it? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it?
And kind of not doing them again is not believing in yourself.
No,
it's like you kind of leave them there because you feel like there's something wrong, or you can't do them, or there's a problem. But get them off.
You just don't want to.
Yeah, you just. Well, sometimes it's like dig deeper though. Why don't you want to? It's like often because you feel like you can't, or there's some kind of problem, some kind of story that you're telling.
And once they're done, you're like, woohoo!
Exactly.
So
and you kind of know, even when you're not doing it and you don't want to do it, that you would feel awesome if you did do it, but you still don't want to do it. Like, it's funny how we kind of prefer to wallow in the crappy feeling,
torture ourselves.
With
the fact that the writing's the easy part sometimes, if we're being honest. Right?
Sometimes I reckon it's about getting out of the comfort zone. I think we get comfortable being in a in a place, and if that's, even if that's a crappy place, you know, like we're comfortable being where we are, and the thought of doing something differently, actually getting out and doing some of those Facebook ads, or actually doing some of the marketing that we know we should be doing, that what if it doesn't work? What if it, you know, what if I do it and it doesn't even work then? Or I knew it wouldn't work because I'm, you know, nothing I do ever work, whatever, you know, then it's like, oh no, I'll just stay here in my comfortable little spot. And then I don't have to deal with any of that.
That becomes your belief, doesn't it? That just defines you.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a little box, and that's where you'll stay until you force your way out of it.
Yeah, and that's
like bonus epilogues, right? Like I know I have to write a bonus epilogue for every book. That's just the way it goes. Now, the best time to write a bonus epilogue is when you finish the book, isn't it?
Right when you finish
right
it. Just
when you finish the book.
Like you're writing another chapter.
I'll just walk away from it and go, I'll just get that down at a later date. So usually it's the day before it's needed. And by then I've forgotten about the book, what it is. Like I've got to write one now, and I finished the book about a month ago, and I'm just like, oh, what is that book about again? You know, like rah. And I'm just like, why? I think it's because it's a mental thing. I get to the end of the book and I'm like, well, that's
be done.
Yeah.
I just get that away from me. You know?
Yeah. It's too hard to do it like that. Even if you only get down a skeleton, just do
I know,
it.
Cheryl. I know. You are very right there. And yet still I do it. You know. And
how many books later? So there you go. Yes. We've got all the answers. Don't necessarily use them all.
Do as we say, not as we do. Just saying. But I want to go back to this whole idea, because I really like the idea that, so in sports, they're all the same, you know, everyone can build their muscle up, they can build their strength, they can build their skills up to a certain level. So there's a lot of people at the same level, and it's that extra 2% mental attitude that's going to be the thing that gets them going. And I think we can say the same for writers, don't you? Like
absolutely,
indie authors. There's a lot of people out there writing great books who are doing all the same things that we're doing. What is it that's going to get you going? Well, there's also a lot of people out there who stop.
The truth is, what's that stat? You know, like how many people publish a book and then don't publish another one?
Yeah, it's like some ridiculous number. I don't know what the
stat
is.
We did a stat on that. It's huge. The amount of people that will publish one book and then not ever publish another book.
It's like 90-something% or something, isn't it?
Because it's massive.
I think it's about 80 something, but anyway, close.
It's only 10%,
but it's ridiculous,
90,
ridiculously high. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy.
Oh, sorry.
No, but what I was saying there is that everyone, you know, not everyone can write a book, but everyone could write a book, but I don't know how good it would be. But what I'm trying to say to that is, you're special anyway. If you've written more than one book, you know, you're special anyway. But there are a lot of people out there who want the dream but don't want to pursue the dream and put in the hard work and do the graft and sit down at the computer and go, okay, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to market a book, or whatever. There's a lot of people that don't do that. They write their book and they put it up, and then that's their dream, and they don't want it. They walk away.
And that's enough for them.
That's right. And go them.
Yeah.
But you're not that person.
If you're listening to this, I don't think you are. No.
I'm talking to you, whoever you are out there.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
You can do this. You can keep going. Don't stop now.
Yeah, exactly.
And the number of authors that we've even just more than one book, like have written lots of books, and then suddenly it's just too much. It gets too much, and they stop, or something happens.
And that's okay too.
Stop.
But I just go through different phases in our lives, right?
But I think often it's burnout. They're burning out because they're doing whatever they're doing, maybe not from self-belief or self-love. There's kind of other things going on. But anyway, that's a whole other podcast. I just think if you really believe in yourself and you really think that you're worthy and that you can do this, then you will make the decisions to keep going and keep writing, but also to take time out and do all the other things that you need to do to make this a sustainable long-term career. All of that comes in the same as part of it.
I think it's really important, and this is something that I've always done, is don't overcomplicate things. My husband thinks that's because mentally I can only store a couple of things in my brain at once. And that is, he's possibly right.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's wrong.
I'm not. Well, he's not. And you know, the thing is, I don't
all those stories.
No, but what I'm trying to get at is I think overcomplicating things.
Which is ironic, because I'm like the queen of overcomplicating things.
I didn't want to point the finger at you, dude, but it was there.
I am the queen.
Mentally, I did it.
Yeah, but mentally, you pointed all those fingers. You were like pointing your whole hand at me.
Pointing at you.
But it all boils down to believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing what you want where you want to be and how you're going to get there, and believing that you can.
Yeah,
that's very profound, Shebe.
You're so profound.
So
that's why we have you around. You have the profound statements.
Profound stuff.
That we all
but I mean, the thing is, it can be a scary business, and especially if you put that first book or the second book up and nothing happens, and rah rah rah, and we hear stories, and some people go, oh, I put my first book up and it was a success, and then I put my 12th book up and it was a success. You don't know when you're going to succeed.
No.
I think that's the real key. But as long as you've done everything you can do, and that's right, the best book you can, it's do your marketing, I think then you're giving yourself the best chance.
Yeah. And it's not about sitting there waiting for luck to happen.
No.
It's not about saying, oh, that person was successful just because they got lucky. I kind of think the people, there's a few comments I've seen about, like, for example, Colleen Hoover, oh, well, she was lucky, that kind of thing. And so, again, no, I mean, there might have been an element of luck, but she set herself up to create that luck, to be ready for it. And I think we can all have lucky moments in our lives, and you can have that just as easily as anyone else.
Absolutely.
So believe in yourself, keep going, keep doing the things you know you need to do, and that will get you there. That will help you create the luck that you think you need. I don't know. I don't actually, I feel really uncomfortable talking about luck because I don't actually
it's the top
know that I believe in it.
Just remember, just think top 2 inches. What makes me strong? What gives me the belief? And it's a mental game, So get the processes in place and stuff like that.
Top 2 inches does not include being jealous of other authors, looking at other people and feeling like it should be you, wondering why they got there, thinking, oh, they've got crappy books. Why are they so successful? Why is it, like, why I'm better than them? Why aren't I? It's, like that kind of stuff. That's not top 2%. That's
not helpful.
That's not helpful. Top 2% thinking is
10%.
Believing in yourself, knowing that you can do it, and
setting your
taking action.
Setting action is a big thing.
Processes and to ensure that you keep that you stay on track, and taking action, and not worrying about what other people are doing, not comparisonitis, all that kind of stuff. It's about you and about your insights, because often when you're comparing yourself to others, it's not because you feel awesome. It's because you feel bad. And you're trying to say
human nature is we compare, though, right?
I mean,
we know that. We know that. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with a little bit of self-competition, I think, to do better next time. That's a good thing. As long as it doesn't.
There's that energy of like resentful or jealousy that I think is the negative thing. If you're comparing yourself and go, I want what Lucy Score has because she's awesome and I love her and I think she's amazing and I follow in her footsteps and I do similar things, or I compare, that kind of thing, sure, but not saying that Lucy Score, she doesn't deserve a thing, she's terrible and her books are awful. Well, actually
lots of people would disagree.
I mean, we would all disagree. I would disagree. Lucy's awesome, we love Lucy, but think about that kind of energy too, because that's not believing in yourself. That's
think about the words that come out of your mouth, and think about the things that go into your brain, and what are you reading? Who are your support crew around you? What are your role models? Who are your role models? And look for the positive sides of things, and that will help.
Those are all really good advice. The support crew, we have our support crew, and if you have no one that you can talk to about writing, I would suggest try and find someone. Try and look for a little bit of a crew,
or talk to us through the comments.
Come on our Facebook page.
Join the Patreon. We'd love to have you there too.
You can ask questions on our Spa Girls page, but if you come to Patreon, you can get all the advice from our other lovely Patreon patrons.
Come to the group that's already there. All right, so that's us. We've tried to be informative and not confusing and not complicated at all, because that.
And we should finish off with believing in yourself is 100% more powerful than luck.
Because that's where we started with. So just remember, believe yourself, believe in yourself, self-belief, love yourself. You are worthy. We love you all. You're awesome.
Yes.
How about that?
Thanks for being here with us. come and see us at spargirlspodcast.com. Come and join us on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
check
all
out the
that.
Patreon.
Char's not here. I can hear
Buy
her
us a
voice.
coffee on
Yeah.
Patreon.
Do all the
Alrighty.
things.
All the things all the time.
All the things. Anyway, so that is enough from us now. I feel like we're waffling, and
Yeah, we are. Char's not here to shut us down. So.
Yeah. Normally it's you that shuts us down, Wendy, to be fair.
I'm shutting you down. How many times do I have to tell you to shut down?
Okay.
I'm giving you the eye.
You're giving me the eye. Okay, sorry. You can really tell that we're like
until next week then.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so thank you all for listening to another episode of the Spa Girls podcast. We'll be back again next week. But for now, farewell.
Bye.
Bye.